Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important questions of 9th of March 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss 20 most important and the very important current affair. So watch the video till last, but I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe our channel if you are new on this platform. But before proceeding, I just want to discuss about Affairs Cloud subscription, which is related to our current affairs section. First of all, you have to download our application. The name of application is Careers Cloud. So remember, the name of application is not the Affairs Cloud. Name of application is Careers Cloud. We are providing 1-year subscription as well as 2-year subscription, and you can download this application from the description box. We put a link in the description box of downloading of this application. You can download very easily. And the price of this subscription is very much low, as well as 1 year and 2 year. If you visit the application, you will definitely surprised to see the price, because 90 to 95% current affair which are coming in your exams are covered by Affairs Cloud. This is the genuinity of Affairs Cloud. And guys, remember, if you want to buy the subscription of 2020, it means if you want to subscribe 2020 current affairs, that is 1 year current affair, or half yearly, it means 6-month current affair, then you have to visit our website, that is affairscloud.com/current affair. Now, why you are subscribing our current affair? It means what we are providing under this subscription. We are providing daily wise PDF. In the daily wise PDF, we are providing two type of sections. Like, first is the detailed current affair of particular day. Second is the question and answer format of the current affair of particular day, so that you can revise the theoretical current affairs in the format of question and answer. Next is the weekly PDF, and it is very important because you can revise the current affair on weekly basis. Next is the weekly test, very important to evaluate yourself that how much current affair you can retain for long time period. Next is the monthly PDF section, and it is the most important section because we are providing so many PDFs according to your exam. Like, first is the study PDF. It means all the detailed current affair of particular month will be provided under this PDF. And to revise this detailed current affair in the format of question and answer, we are providing second PDF, that is known as question and answer PDF. Next is pocket PDF. As the name suggests, it is very important to revise the current affair before your exam in theoretical format. Next is banking, finance and economy PDF, especially for those aspirants who are preparing for banking exam like RBI exam, IBPS exam, or any type of the insurance exam. Then you can use this type of the PDF. Next is the top 100 current affair. It means the best 100 current affair will be provided to you in the format of question and answer, so that you can revise again and again. So all things will be provided every month, and your current affair section will go strong. But on that minimal price, we are providing 10% extra discount. How you can avail this 10% extra discount? If you use this code ASH10, then you will get 10% extra discount on that minimal price we are providing for 1 year subscription as well as 2-year subscription. So let's start today's current affair, that is 9th of March 2021. But I'm again requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe our channel. So let's start today's current affair with our first section, that is the most important question section. And here is our first question. What is the rank of India in Business to Consumer E-Commerce Index 2020 released by United Nations Conference on Trade and Development? So remember, it is the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. So first of all, one thing is very important under this question, that where is the headquarter of United Nations Conference on Trade and Development? The headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland. And remember, this organization was established in 1964, and it was established by the United Nations General Assembly of New York. And who is currently the Secretary General? The acting Secretary General is Isabelle Durant from Belgium. So you can remember these three things, that headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, established in 1964, and who is currently the Secretary General of United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, Isabelle Durant from Belgium. Now, next is the e-commerce index of 2020. So guys, remember, this index measures an economy's preparedness to support online shopping. And which country topped under this index? The Switzerland. Switzerland topped under this index, and it is the first time that Switzerland surpassed the Netherlands, because earlier the Netherlands topped this index, but now Switzerland is on the first spot. And what is the rank of India? India's rank is on the 71st. So remember, India is on the 71st number out of 152 countries. So this is the most important question you have to remember, and this vital extra information. And guys, remember, India ranks 71 in the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, and it is Business to Consumer E-Commerce Index 2020, and Switzerland topped under this index, and second country is Netherlands. And guys, remember, this index measures an economy preparedness to support the online shopping, and the index has been topped by Switzerland for the first time, which was surpassed the Netherlands. And And guys, remember 97% of the Swiss population used the internet in 2019. 97% population in the Switzerland used the internet in 2019. That is a huge success of Switzerland. And guys, remember the recent ranks. If you want to clear the examination, then these two ranks are very much important. You have to remember this Lowy Institute from the Australia released the Asia Power Index 2020, and India became the fourth most powerful country in Asia according to Lowy Institute of the Australia. And second rank, again very important, that is the COVID Performance Index. This rank is also prepared by the Lowy Institute of Australia, and according to Lowy Institute of Australia, in the COVID Performance Index, India's rank is very much poor, that is 86th rank out of 98 countries on the basis of its response toward tackling the pandemic. It means India's response was very much poor towards the tackling the COVID-19 pandemic. So remember, India's rank in COVID Performance Index is 86, and in the Asia's Power Index, India's rank is 4th. So these things are very much important. You have to remember. Now we are moving to next question. India's first forest healing center was inaugurated in which state? Again, very important because it is related to the state, and most important because it is the first forest healing center all over India. So the question arises here, why there is a need of forest healing center? Because this center is based on the concept of healing and revitalizing the overall health and well-being of the people by bringing them into the direct contact with nature. And the forest is inspired from the Japanese technique of forest bathing and ancient Indian tradition. So that's why it is themed on be silent, go slow, think less and feel more. So this is the main theme of this healing center or the healing park. So guys, remember, there are the key activities at the center include the forest walking, and tree hugging is there so that you can connect with the nature, forest meditation is there, and sky gazing is there. So these are the four major activities under this healing center, and this center is inaugurated in the state of Uttarakhand. So remember, this center is inaugurated in Uttarakhand, and guys, Uttarakhand state is very important for you. Why Uttarakhand is important? Because there are very important national parks in Uttarakhand, and the oldest national park that was inaugurated in 1936, Hale National Park, currently it is known as the Jim Corbett National Park. Second, very important is the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve or Nanda Devi National Park. It is the one of the biosphere reserve out of the 18 biosphere reserve of India. And guys, remember, there is a Rajaji National Park. This is again very important. Valley of Flowers National Park is very important. Gangotri National Park is very important also in Uttarakhand, and Govind Pashu Vihar National Park is very important. So these national parks are very important. Again, I am repeating, India's oldest national park, that is the Jim Corbett and the Hale National Park, Nanda Devi National Park or the Biosphere Reserve, Gangotri National Park, Rajaji National Park, Valley of Flowers National Park, and Govind Pashu Vihar National Park. And who is currently the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand? Trivendra Singh Rawat. And who is the Governor of Uttarakhand? Baby Rani Maurya. So remember this vital information regarding Uttarakhand. So you can see here, India's first forest healing center inaugurated in Uttarakhand, Ranikhet. So if you belongs to Uttarakhand, then you have to remember exact place, that is in Ranikhet. So it is inaugurated by noted environmentalist Joginder Bist. So again, if you belongs to Uttarakhand, then this personality name is very much important. Name is Joginder Bist, and it is developed around the area of 13-acre area. And this is just to connect with the nature. And the theme is be silent, go slow, think less, and feel more. And 3 districts of Uttarakhand are very much important for your exam. Like Rishikesh is known as yoga capital of the world, Dehradun is known as the school capital of India, and Mussoorie is known as the queen of hills. So this is the very important questions. You can even revise again and again for your exam. Now we are moving to next question. What will be the new name of the channel which was recently announced after the merger of Rajya Sabha TV and Lok Sabha TV? So it means Parliament basically solved your problem because you are watching Rajya Sabha TV differently and Lok Sabha TV differently. Now both the TVs or both the channels are now merged, and the new name of this channel is Sansad TV. So remember, answer B is correct. You can see here the merger of Lok Sabha TV and Rajya Sabha TV has been finalized, and it is replaced by the single banner Sansad TV. One committee was set up before that is the headed by the former Prasar Bharati chairman Surya Prakash, and this committee basically suggested that 2 channels have to merged. This is an attempt to cover beyond the proceedings of the 2 houses and feature the functions of the parliament and parliamentarians when the house are not in session. Even when the houses are not in session, then this channel can published so many videos related to the functions of parliament, features of the parliament and other things. And guys, remember the merger is effective from the 1st March of 2021. But the most important thing, by the merging of these two channels, Rajya Sabha TV and the Lok Sabha TV, it become the Sansad TV. This is the most important thing. Now we are moving to next question. Who won the gold medal in the 35th edition of the 2021 Boxum Elite International Tournament held in Spain? So the most important thing under this question is the Elite International Tournament hosted by which country? This is Spain. And this Elite International Tournament, also known as Boxum, by the Boxum word you can relate, it is related to the boxing. And India won 10 medals under this Boxum Elite International Tournament, and out of 10 medals, one is gold medal, 8 are silver and one is bronze medal. Remember, one is gold, 8 are silver and one is bronze. And bronze medal is won by MC Mary Kom. So remember, bronze medal won by MC Mary Kom and gold medal won by Manish Kaushik. So remember, answer of this question is A, because we are talking about the gold medal. So you can see here, Manish Kaushik clinched gold medal at the 35th Boxum International Tournament, Spain. But you have to remember, this Boxum tournament is hosted by which country? Spain. And who won the gold medal? Only one person from India won the gold medal, that is Manish Kaushik. And total Indian players won 10 medals. Out of these 10 medals, one is thus gold, 8 are silver and one is bronze. And total 127 boxers were there. Out of the 4 confederation and 17 countries, they presented their countries. And Manish Kaushik clinched the gold medal in the men's 63 category. So remember the category, but MC Mary Kom won bronze medal. What about Boxing Federation of India? President is Ajay Singh. You have to remember the name of the president of Boxing Federation of India, because this tournament is related to boxing. Now we are moving to next question. Which Indian shuttler clinched the silver medal in 2021 Swiss Open Super 300, which is also known as Zonex Swiss Open 2021? So very simple. And which country hosting this Swiss Open Super 100 or 300? Yonex Swiss Open 2021. So very simple question, because it is hosted by Switzerland. As the name suggests, it is hosted by Switzerland. And which Indian shuttler clinched the silver medal? It means he or she was defeated in the final. That's why he or she won the silver medal. Otherwise, the player who won the gold medal become the finalist and won this Swiss Open Super 300. And answer of this question is PV Sindhu. So you can see here in the picture, here is PV Sindhu settles for silver medal in Boxing Worldwide Federation Swiss Open Super 300 Yonex Swiss Open 2021. You can also see here, she was defeated in the finals by Spain Carolina Marin. It means who won the gold medal in this tournament? That is Zonex Swiss Open 2021, Carolina Marin. And guys, remember, PV Sindhu was also the finalist, but she was defeated by this person, Carolina Marin. That's why she won the silver medal. And 2021 Swiss Open was the first tournament of 2021 of the Badminton World Federation World Tour. So guys, remember, it is the first tournament of the Badminton World Federation of 2021. And where is the headquarter of Badminton World Federation? Headquarter is in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And who is currently the president of Badminton World Federation? That is Paul Paul Lawson. Remember, Paul Lawson. And remember, men's single was won by Victor Excellent, and Carolina Marin becomes the winner of the women singles. Now we are moving to next question. Autobiography, The Frontier Gandhi, My Life and Struggle, to be published in English. Earlier, the language of this autobiography was Pashto. And now this book is published in English, and this is related to which person? So it is very famous question in the history, that who is known as the Frontier Gandhi. So answer of this question is Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, who was also known as Basha Khan, who was also known as Bacha Khan, who was also known as the Frontier Gandhi or the Sarhadi Gandhi. Sarhadi Gandhi. Frontier Gandhi, in Hindi, it is known as the Sarhadi Gandhi. And guys, remember, he was the first person from the foreign country who won Bharat Ratna. So this is the again most important question. Remember, in 1987, he became the first foreigner to win the Bharat Ratna. Even he was nominated for Nobel Peace Prize in 1985, because he belongs to Pakistan. After independence, he shifted to Pakistan. So that's why he became the first foreigner to win the Bharat Ratna. And he was known as Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan and Basha Khan or Bacha Khan. And the Frontier Gandhi. And remember, this book is translated into English by Imtiaz Ahmed Sahibzada, former Pakistani civil servant and the author. And this will be the first autobiography of this person in English. Earlier, this was written in Pashto by the Raj Mohan Gandhi, grandson of Gandhiji, in 1983. And Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan was known as Bacha Khan, Basha Khan, or the Fakir-e-Afghan, because he was very much active and he was promoting the Gandhian policy in the northwestern frontier area. He led the organization that is known as Khudai Khidmatgar or Servants of God, or also known as the Red Shirts movement from 1930 to 1947, which was based on the Gandhian principles. So these are very important things you have to remember if you are preparing for any type of the exam, especially the history. Now we are moving to next question. And last question in the most important section. United Nations International Women Day is annually observed across the globe on which day? Very simple question, but you have to remember the theme of this day. So firstly, I have to answer the day. Answer of this question is 8th of March. So you have to remember this: International Women Day, 8th of March 2021. And what is the theme? Women in leadership, achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. So it means we have to recognize the achievements of the women regardless of their nation, ethnic, language, culture, or the economic or political. So you can see here, we have to recognize the achievement of every woman regardless of their nation, ethnic or language or culture or economic or the political achievement. So guys, you can see here the theme of International Women Day 2021 is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. And guys, remember the Grant Thornton, a report known as the Global Accounting Firm, has published the report named as the Women in Business 2021 report. So you have to remember that Women in Business 2021 report was published on the occasion of International Women Day, and this report is published by Grant Thornton, a global accounting firm. And guys, remember, according to this report, the global average of women in senior management is 31%. But in India, it is very much improved, because India at around 39% women in the senior management. So that's why India ranks third. India ranked third in the women percentage in the senior management, because India accounting 39% women in the senior management. So this is a clapping thing for the India. So remember this. So now we are moving to next section, and it is the very important question section. Here is our first question. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare signed MOU with whom for the promotion of agroforestry in the silk sector, so that we can improve the silk sector by the new innovation and technology, and we can move the farmers to the sericulture so that we can enhance the incomes of the farmers. And answer of this question is Central Silk Board. So guys, remember, Central Silk Board comes under the Ministry of Textile. It means we are talking about Samriti Irani. And next we are talking about Ministry of Agriculture. It means we are talking about Narendra Singh Tomar ji. So you have to remember these two things, that Narendra Singh Tomar, it means Ministry of Agriculture, and Ministry of Textile signed a MOU to promote the silk sector, or you can say for the promotion of agroforestry in the silk sector. You can also see here, as a part of MOU, there will be implementation of the agroforestry in the silk sector under the ongoing submission of the agroforestry scheme. So it means it will increase the silk production, it will increase the sericulture, and it will also increase the farming of the silkworms, so that we can increase the farmer income, because there is a target till 2022 we have to double the farmers' income. So it is to incentivize farmers to take up sericulture based agroforestry model, and to support the production of famous Indian silk, and will increase the quality as well as the production capacity of silk in India, so that the famous Indian silk can be exported, and we have to improve our foreign exchange. And guys, remember, Narendra Singh Tomar, our Union Agriculture Minister, constituency is Morena, Madhya Pradesh, and next Union Minister here is the Samriti Irani, and her constituency is Amethi, Uttar Pradesh. Now we are moving to next question. All major programs of the Ministry of Women and Child Development brought under which umbrella scheme or schemes? So why this question is the very important? Because the Ministry of Women and Child Development schemes were overlapping. So that's why they merged all the schemes, basically the major program schemes of the Ministry of Women and Child Development, into the three major schemes. It means answer of this question is all of these, and these schemes are Saksham Anganwadi and the Poshan 2.0. Why this scheme is important? Because the supplementary nutrition program and the Poshan Abhiyan were merged to launch the mission Poshan 2.0 to strengthen nutritional content, delivery, outreach, and the outcome. It means it is just to increase the nutrition value. Next is the mission Vatsalya. It was basically set up to look into the child protection services and the welfare services. Next is the mission Shakti. It was to set up the for the protection and the empowerment of the women. So these all three schemes are very important because all the major programs and the schemes of the Ministry of Women and Child Development merged under these three schemes. You can also see here these three schemes are Mission Poshan 2.0, Mission Vatsalya, and the Mission Shakti for better implementation of the nutritious value, for better implementation of the child protection and the women empowerment. You can see here it is for the sake of better implementation of the schemes and programs, and according to the 2011 census, women and children constitute maximum population of India, like 67.7% of Indian population. And recently, Ministry of Women and Child Development, which comes under the Smriti Irani, inked MOU with the Ayush Ministry to control malnutrition as a part of the Poshan Abhiyan. Again, one MOU signed for the children, and it is for the to tackle the malnutrition problem. And remember, Smriti Irani constituency is Amethi. We are basically doing this thing second time in a day. Now we are moving to next question. Who collaborated with Sahi Pay or the Sahi Pay to promote nano entrepreneurship among us youth in the financial service sector? It means one organization and Sahi Pay will promote the financial literacy in India, especially in the youth, so that they can do more things with this type of the financial literacy, and they can improve their livelihood. And this organization is National Skill Development Corporation. But you have to remember other three organizations, like SEBI is very important. SEBI was established in 1988 and it became the statutory body in 1992. And who is currently the head of SEBI? Ajay Tyagi. Remember Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog was established in 2014 and 15. And guys, remember who is the chairman? Prime Minister is the chairman. Who is the CEO? Amitabh Kant is the CEO. And guys, remember who is the deputy chairman? That is Rajiv Kumar. Next is the National Payment Corporation of India. Very important. Who is the head of National Payment Corporation of India? That is Dilip Asbe. Remember these things. And answer of this question is National Skill Development Corporation. You can see here National Skill Development Corporation collaborates with Sahi Pay to promote digital financial literacy. You can also see here it is just a part of collaboration. Candidates will be provided access to free digital skilling on online entrepreneurship program through NSDC eSkill India portal. It means National Skill Development Corporation eSkill India portal will provide all the skills to the youth so that they can improve their livelihood and they can explore the self-employment, so that we can make the Atmanirbhar Bharat or the self-reliant Bharat. And National Skill Development Corporation and Sahi Pay will also organize various digital and on-ground initiatives to create awareness about the digital financial literacy, so that every youth can become the Atmanirbhar. And recently, National Skill Development Corporation and LinkedIn announced a partnership to provide the free learning resources for imparting digital skill to the youth for enhancing employability. This is also for the Atmanirbhar Bharat and the self-reliant Bharat. So guys, remember about National Skill Development Corporation. Where is the headquarter of NSDC? Headquarter is in New Delhi, and who is currently the MD and CEO? Manish Kumar. So remember, Manish Kumar. And when it was established in 2008. Now we are moving to next question. A book titled Dynasty to Democracy, The Untold Story of Smriti Irani Triumph, authored by whom? Very important book because it is related to again our Union Minister of Women and Child Development, Union Minister of Textile, that is Smriti Irani, and how she ended up with the Rahul Gandhi, that is dynastic, you can say the candidate of the Amethi seat, and how she won this Amethi seat in 2019. So this book features all these things, and it is related to the Smriti Irani loss in 2014 against Rahul Gandhi, and in 2019 won against Rahul Gandhi. And who authored this book? This book is translated into English by Anant Vijay, because this book was released in Hindi in December 2020. It was named as Dynasty to Democracy. Anant Vijay was the author, and in Hindi it is known as Amethi Sangram. ऐतिहासिक जीत अनकही दास्तां was published in December 2020. It was the Hindi name of this book. The book is about the attempt to understand the reasons behind Irani's success in Amethi and her political methods in 2019 when she was against the Rahul Gandhi in Amethi. The book traces her journey from her defeat in 2014 and her victory in Amethi, Uttar Pradesh during the 2019 Lok Sabha, and Rahul Gandhi won the election in the Wayanad seat, but he lost in the Amethi seat. So guys, you have to remember Smriti Irani constituency is Amethi. So this book is whole based on the Amethi. Now moving to next question. Which state has approved to set up a new department called Department of Mission Shakti to strengthen both the rural and urban self-help groups in the state, because maximum women are working in the self-help groups. So that's why there is a need to strengthen these self-help groups both at both levels, like rural and the urban level. So that's why the state government created a department known as the Mission Shakti, and this state is Odisha. And who is the chief minister of this state? Very famous chief minister and very renowned chief minister. It is Naveen Patnaik ji. And who is the governor? Governor is Ganeshi Lal. But again, the most important thing is in the Odisha is national parks of Odisha. One is very famous Bhitarkanika National Park is there. Next is Satkoshia Tiger Reserve, very famous tiger reserve. One of the biosphere reserve also in Odisha, that is Similipal Biosphere Reserve. Very important. And guys, remember there is a Hiragut Dam, that is the longest dam all over India, and it is situated on which river? It is situated on Mahanadi River. So you have to remember all these things about Odisha. So you can see here Odisha to create new department to strengthen self-help groups. So just simple question, and it is just to merge the Directorate of Mission Shakti and Odisha Livelihood Mission, and they comes under the Department of Mission Shakti, and it is just to strengthen the self-help groups. Now, moving to next question. Which bank launched Smartup Unnati for women entrepreneurs? Again, there is a focus on the women entrepreneurs, because on the 8th of March, we celebrated the International Women Day. That's why Maxim initiative on the 8th March was taken, and then in the 9th March also taken for the women entrepreneurs. So that's why this bank launched a program that is known as Smartup Unnati. And this bank name is HDFC, or you can say Housing Development Finance Corporation. This bank was established in 1994. What is the tagline of this bank? Tagline is "We understand your world." Headquarters is in Mumbai, and MD and CEO is Shashidhar Jagdishan. So you have to remember these 4 things about HDFC. You can see here HDFC Bank launched this Smartup Unnati Progress for women entrepreneurs. It means under this program, senior women leaders of HDFC Bank with expertise spanning domains will mentor women entrepreneurs to achieve their goals in the next 1 year. And target is 3,000 women entrepreneurs will be trained under this HDFC Smartup Unnati program. So you can see here, senior women leaders of the HDFC Bank provide expertise to the women entrepreneurs so that they can achieve their goals in the next 1 year. And total target is to train the more than 3,000 women entrepreneurs associated with the Smartup program of the HDFC Bank. So they will provide the mentorship, expand their vision, and scale up their business by gaining new experience. It means you can see here the Smartup Unnati program of HDFC Bank will support the women entrepreneurs to face the challenges unique to them in the startup ecosystem. It means they will improve the women entrepreneurs in the startup as well. It means again the mission is to become India self-reliant. So remember, MD and CEO is Shashidhar Jagdishan. Tagline is "We understand your world." Now we are moving to next question. Which company will support 1 million women entrepreneurs in rural India by its newly launched Women Will web platform? Again, very important question, but this question is again related to women entrepreneurship. So guys, remember, they have targeted that 1 million women entrepreneurs, especially in the rural India, will be trained, and new digital literacy, new type of the technology will be provided to these women entrepreneurs, and this company is Google India. So guys, remember, google.org will provide these all things to the women entrepreneurs by its new launched platform, that is Women Will. So you can see here, Google announced 25 million impact fund rupees. It is in rupees, not in the USD. Lend support to 1 million female entrepreneurs in India. It means Google will also provide the financial entrepreneurship, and they tied up with the NASSCOM for this purpose. So guys, remember, they tied up with the NASSCOM, that is National Association of Software and Service Company, for training the 1 lakh women agri workers and the digital and financial literacy. So the name of the web platform is the Women Will. By this, they will provide all the things like business tutorials, mentorship, and the accelerator programs. And remember, a grant of $5 lakh will be provided to NASSCOM so that they can provide all type of the assistance to 1 lakh women, agri workers, and the digital and financial literacy. And Sundar Pichai, that is the CEO of the Google, also announced that completion of the Internet Sarthi program. This was the unique initiative which was started by the Google in 2015, and it is a joint initiative of Google India. And you have to remember, it was a joint initiative of Google India, Intel was there, and one company, Tata Trust, was there, for promoting digital literacy among women within rural community. So it is focused on the rural community progress. So guys, remember. Now we are moving to next question. Denmark is to set up center of excellence for dairy sector in which state? Very simple question. And it is for the dairy sector. It means it is for the especially for the milk production. And this state is the second largest producer of milk in India. And this state is the largest state of India by area. So answer of this question is very simple now. Answer is Rajasthan. And who is the governor of Rajasthan? And he is Kalraj Mishra. Remember Kalraj Mishra. And who is the chief minister? Ashok Gehlot. And very important here is the national parks in Rajasthan. One is the Desert National Park. Second is Kaladeo Ghana National Park. Next is Ranthambore Tiger Reserve. Remember Ranthambore National Park and Sariska Tiger Reserve. So these are very important. Desert National Park, Kaladeo Ghana National Park, and Ranthambore National Park and Sariska Tiger Reserve. These are very important national parks in Rajasthan. So you can see here Center of Excellence in Rajasthan by the Denmark. And you have to remember this is just to provide technical support in the water conservation and purification works in the urban areas of Udaipur. So it can also increase the farming activities in the Rajasthan, and it is just to give better facilities to the cattle rearers, and it is just to fully cooperative in the field of the dairy science and technology through Denmark expertise. It means new type of the technology will be introduced in the Rajasthan so that they can increase the production of the milk in the state. And Rajasthan is the second highest milk production state in India after contributing around 11% of the total milk production, and first number goes to Gujarat because there is a Amul. Remember this. Now we are moving to next question, and it is the veteran Indian athlete Ishar Singh Deol dies. So very important question. You have to remember with the name. Name is Deol. It is not related to the Dharmendra family. It is not related to the Sunny Deol, but you have to remember Ishar Singh Deol. This is very important name. Why? Because he won the Dhyan Chand National Award. Remember, he won the Dhyan Chand National Award in 2009. For his lifelong contribution towards the sports, and this award was conferred by the Pratibha Patil, then President of India. And guys, remember he was associated with the shot put and the discus throw from 1951 to 1960. 1951 to 1960. And he belongs to Punjab. Even he died in the capital of Punjab, that is in Chandigarh. So guys, remember the name Ishar Singh Deol. Now moving to the last section, that is the one-liner section. But before that, we have to discuss about important question section. Here is the one question which we are discussing. The Jan Aushadhi Divas, also known as the Generic Medicine Day, is annually observed across India on which day? So very important day. It is just to provide the affordable medicine to the people, and this day is celebrated on the 7th of March. So how you can remember? Just one day before the International Women Day, you have to remember we are celebrating the Jan Aushadhi Divas or the Generic Medicine Day. And third Jan Aushadhi Divas theme is Seva Bhi and Rozgar Bhi. It means we are providing service as well as the employment. So you can see here the day aims to disseminate the endeavors of Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Parijojana, an initiative by the Department of Pharmaceuticals, Government of India, to provide quality medicine at affordable price. Even 90% prices are less than the you can say the private medicines. The third Jan Aushadhi Divas was observed on the 7th of March 2021 with the theme Seva Bhi Rozgar Bhi. It means first was celebrated in 2019, second was celebrated in 2020, and third is celebrating in 2021. And Prime Minister Modi ji dedicated 750th Jan Aushadhi Kendra at Shillong, Meghalaya. So this is important. Examiner can ask that 750th or 7500th Jan Aushadhi Kendra was opened in which state? It is in Meghalaya, Shillong. So remember this. Now we are moving to one-liner important question. Here is the first question, that is BRO builds 200 feet the bridge of compassion across Rishi Ganga river in Uttarakhand. So the first important thing you have to remember, the Rishi Ganga river is in which state? So this is in Uttarakhand. So why this river is important? Because this bridge was built by the Border Road Organization in a just 26 days as a replacement to the 90-meter reinforced cement concrete bridge that was washed away on the 7th February flash floods in the Rishi Ganga river. And these flash floods were very much huge because they had washed away the Rishi Ganga hydroelectric project, leading to the 200 workers getting trapped. So that's why, as a tribute to the sacrifice of the power plant workers, the bridge has named as the Bridge of Compassion. So this bridge is in Uttarakhand. We already discussed about the Uttarakhand. Next, India overperformed by the 65 positions in frontier tech among developing countries. Again, the report is related to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. So there is a report, the report named as Technology and Innovation Report 2021, and India is the biggest overperformer. First time I am basically delivering this type of the news that India is the biggest overperformer in the frontier technology than its per capita gross domestic product among 158 countries. So this is a huge and a good news for India, that India is overperforming as comparing to the GDP of India. And among 158 countries, India ranked at 43. And if we are comparing according to the GDP, India is overperforming other countries by 65 rank. It means according to GDP, India should be on the rank of 108, but India's rank is 43. So remember, the report name is Technology and Innovation Report 2021, and in the coming days I will cover this question in the question and answer format. So guys, you have to remember, Technology and Innovation Report is given by United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, and I already covered the UNCTAD all information. Next, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar inaugurates new cultural center of High Commission of India in Dhaka, Bangladesh, because we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Bangladesh, because Bangladesh got independence in 1971. So remember this. Next, Axis Bank launched WhatsApp banking service. Not important, because so many banks started the banking service on the platform of the WhatsApp. Next is the SpaceX successfully tests Starship SN10 prototype rocket. So this is important. So you have to remember, earlier they tested this rocket 2 times, but they failed. So that's why this is a very important question. You have to remember, the rocket successfully up to an altitude of 10,000 kilometer basically, and safely landed back on the ground, but exploded 6 minutes after the landing. But SpaceX is saying that this mission is successful. Now the test launch was considered successful, as the Starship prototype successfully landed after attempting the belly flop maneuver. So guys, remember, Starship is being developed by the SpaceX to get people and the payloads to Moon, Mars and the other distant destinations. So according to SpaceX, it is a successful mission, but it was exploded after the 6 minutes of the landing. Next, India retains Anthony the Mello Trophy by defeating England in 2020-21 Test Series by the 3-1. So remember, India won the England series, and this is very important series, and the hosting country is India. And remember, player of the series is Ravichandran Ashwin, and India won the series by the 3-1. Now we are moving to the question of the 7th and 8th of March 2021. Question was, India shares longest international boundary with which country? So very important question. You have to remember this. India shares maximum boundary, that is 4096 kilometer boundary with Bangladesh. So this is very important. Remember, and second number goes to China, third number goes to Pakistan, and India shares this China boundary with 5 states. You have to remember, with 5 states, and these 5 states are, first is the, you have to remember, first state is West Bengal, because it was divided from the West Bengal. Next state is Assam. Next is Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. So these are the 5 states who are sharing the boundary with Bangladesh. Now we are moving to the question of the day. Question of the day from the polity section. The residuary powers of the legislation under Indian Constitution rest with. It means we are not talking about the union list, state list and the concurrent list. We are discussing which powers which are not under the union list, state list and the concurrent list comes under whom. That's powers are known as the residuary powers, and it comes under the Article 248. So guys, give me answer only in the comment box, and if you like this video, then please press the like button, because we want 700 plus likes, and please subscribe our channel and please press the bell button so that you can receive the notification on time, because so many students are complaining that we are not receiving the videos on time. So that's why you have to press this bell button. And guys, it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section, definitely, and it is my personal promise that if you are watching the videos regularly and if you are reading the current affairs from the PDF, then your current affairs section will go strong, definitely. And guys, remember, 90 to 95% current affairs which are coming in your exams are covered by Affairs Cloud. This is the genuinity of Affairs Cloud, and this is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. And guys, always remember, don't take life so much serious. Life is fun, life is beautiful. Always be happy, because happiness is the key of success. Thank you guys again. Take care. Bye bye.